What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, and this is an off-the-cuff reading that was unplanned. Just sat down, hit the record button, and thought that we would take a look at the person on your mind. I've never done a reading quite like this, but we're going to do it. So, let's take a look. Also, really quick, before I forget, if you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click the like and subscribe button. If you find this information helpful, all the other information you know is in the description box below. What else? One other thing, before I forget this as well. Throughout the reading, I just want to invite everybody, if you are not getting the results that you seek in your life, your relationships, your job, whatever it is that you want out of life, then this is the reason why. Right here. Are you being a powerful person? Where are you focused on? Are you focused on what you can control? Are you focused on what you can't control? Are you looking inward? Are you looking outside of you? Are you waiting? Are you waiting for life to hand you the things that you want out of life? Or are you making the changes that are necessary within you? Are you honing your power? Are you becoming the magician? Using the powers and the abilities, the tools, the resources, all the power of the divine inside of you to manifest, to collaborate, to create, to go after the things that you want in life. Because the truth is, guys, is nothing changes until we change. This is Spirituality 101. So, what do you need? What do you crave? What do you want? What do you desire? If you're looking outside of yourself, hoping, crossing your fingers and thinking that, maybe if I listen to another tarot reading, maybe if I wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Time and energy are the two most valuable resources that we can't reproduce, because when today's gone, we're not going to get today back. And when we wake up tomorrow, we have a limited amount of energy to get us through the next day. And once we use that energy, we get tired. Then we have to go to sleep, start all over again. So, are you using your energy and the time that is very valuable because we can't reproduce it to work with the divine, to go after your hopes, your dreams, your desires, or are you just, sitting back, waiting and hoping that some way, some shape, some form, it's going to come to you? Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Next thing, if you would like to join the Conscious Collective group coming up here probably the beginning of February, my friend and I over at Soul Tribe Tarot, some of you know her, some of you don't, we are going to be opening up the group. This group is for those of you that are very serious about your personal and spiritual development. If you'd like to know more about it, there is a video in my playlist called the Conscious Collective Presentation. You can go check that video out. And without further ado, we will get into the reading. All right, so basically, let's just take a look. We're going to start here, and we're just going to look at where are you with this person. Now, again, take it as it resonates. If you're single and you're not with a person, then, whoever comes to mind would be the person. Now, obviously, if you're with somebody, then it's probably going to be the person you're with. So, again, take it as it resonates. So, where's the collective right now with the person on their mind? Where are they sitting right now? What's the current energy between the collective and their person? Interesting. Okay. So the divine has brought you and this person together, and maybe you feel this way. Maybe you agree. Maybe you feel like, and you know that you and this person were meant to be together. Maybe you're questioning it. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody's story is different. However, whatever the situation is, whatever the case is, there's definitely the fated destiny implies that the divine is definitely involved in this situation with you and your person here. So, this could be, a twin flame. It could be a soulmate. It doesn't matter. You have a soul contract with this person. It's implied here in the card. Now, there is a soul contract card in this deck, but for whatever reason, you and this person were definitely brought together. So what is the major challenge right now? Now, for those of you that are apart and you're not speaking to somebody that's on your mind, then this is essentially saying that the divine is most likely going to bring you back together. Now, see, you can't make this up. We have contract. So again, it's implying that you have a contract with this person, a soul contract. Now, being that this is in the challenge position, and the reading, what this is telling me is that there are, because this contract card is like literal contracts in life, essentially. Worldly things, not spiritual things. So it could be work, it could be business, it could be their job, it could be career, it could be yours. Something, I mean, technically we're in tax season. I don't know, maybe on a really, 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 really superficial level, maybe, the challenge right now is they're focused on their taxes. I mean, that would be kind of hard to believe. That would be the biggest challenge if that's the biggest challenge you have in your relationship or in your life right now, then good for you, I guess. No judgment. But they're tied up into something. Okay, so if you're not in contact with this person, they feel obligated. So on a more broad spectrum, generalized or metaphorical plane or example or definition, this contract refers to the things in life that we're obligated to. Because when you have a contract, you're essentially obligated to fulfill it. There's an expectation, between you and the person you have that contract with. And if you don't fulfill it, there's usually some form of consequence, right? So at the very least, there's some type of obligation that either you or your person, if you're not speaking to this person, but it's the person that's on your mind, because that's what this reading is, there's some type of obligation here. They feel obligated to something. And I'll try to look and see what maybe that is. So what's the near future outcome, or what's the near future energy here? Well, we have conflict in reverse. So if you've been in conflict with this person, or if they've been in some type of conflict, or if conflict is what separated you guys, or if you're with this person and you've been in conflict, why you've been with them, whatever your situation is here, I'm going to get to this. I just noticed at the bottom of the deck. Whatever your situation is here with conflict in reverse, it's saying that period is ending. It's over. So the time or the period of conflict with this person is ending, essentially, in the near future. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we do have some things here. We have the matrix. So for some of you, your partner is probably not very spiritual. And maybe that's why the challenge has been this contract card here. They're just consumed with the everyday life stuff. They may not really believe in all this quote unquote woo-woo spiritual stuff. They may not be a very spiritual person. They may not be very deep or intellectual, or they don't believe in a higher power. Anything outside of their five senses, if they can't see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, interact with it, then, they're just disinterested, right? That's what the matrix is. The matrix is the typical social programming of the average person that doesn't believe in anything beyond the world that they know it. The institutions, the infrastructure, all the stuff, politics, religion, just the normal everyday world is all that they know. And that's probably what they believe in. That's what they subscribe to. However, the higher power is getting involved in this situation now. So with fated destiny and the higher power energy here at the bottom of the deck, this person is basically having a come to Jesus moment, whether they like it or not, because underneath that we have the destruction card, which is essentially the same as the Tower in tarot. So this person that you're attached to, for many of you, especially those of you that may not be in contact with this person, and for maybe a small percentage of those of you that are, with this person and you live under the same roof, then you're probably more aware, you're more familiar with what's going on with what's going on with them, but not necessarily, because this is going on collectively. No matter what your situation is, whether you're with this person or whether you're not with this person, they're going through some shit right now, to put it frankly. And the divine, the higher power card here, the divine is essentially, for lack of better words, they're kind of the ones behind it here. And so once this person comes out the other side of this tower, this destruction, there's an opportunity for you guys to experience some degree of fulfillment. However, there's still some shadows, if you will, that need to be dealt with here. And that's going to lead you guys to have to make a decision about how, what you want to do in regards to this person that you're connected to. So some of you may decide to stick it out. You may decide, that come hell or high water, no matter what they do, no matter what happens to them, if they change, if they don't change, if they stay toxic or they don't, whatever. Some of you may decide and choose to hold on to that person, I guess, for lack of better words. You may still, desire them, hold on to them, want them. For those of you that are living under the same roof with this person, you may decide to stay with this person. Others of you, you're going to let it go. You're going to realize, because going back here at the bottom of the deck, so you can hear all the cards. We have that, and we have that one, all the ones we've talked about. We get to the decision. Some of you guys are going to realize that the reason that you tolerated this person, because we all get what we tolerate, the reason that you tolerated this person was because you just didn't love yourself. And so this person, you were destined to meet this person because essentially they were a mirror to reflect the parts of you back to yourself that you needed to heal, that you needed to address, that you need to become aware of, so that you could become a stronger, more powerful person. And as you step into your power, you're going to release and you're going to let this person go, because you realize that even if on the other side of this chaos, this destruction they're going through, they still have stuff to go through. It's like this person, unfortunately, needs a lot of work. And I don't intuitively, I don't feel like they're resisting the divine, is the best way I know to describe it. They're not like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, I'm a growth-oriented person. I'm a solution-oriented person. I understand what's going on. I get it. I see the signs. I'm interpreting the signs. I'm connected to the divine. I see my wrongs. I see my faults. I see my shadows, and I'm working on it. This isn't that kind of person. And so they're just not, I hate to say it, I mean, they're just plugged into the matrix. And unfortunately, not everybody that we connect with and go on this journey with is meant to live the spiritual path, the spiritual journey. Some people actually incarnate just to live in the matrix. They didn't come here to know about the spiritual stuff and the woo-woo stuff, even though we all come from the same source. We all come from our soul all comes from the same place. But some people, they came here to be 100% human. They don't want to know about where they came from. They don't want to know about God, and they don't want to know about the source and the divine and all and spirituality and that stuff. They just want to have a completely immersed human experience. They want to be plugged into the matrix. They want to have the white picket fence life, and they want all the just the human stuff, and that's all they want to believe in. And so we end up, interacting with these people, or we fall in love with these people. We have connections with these people at times, and it's very difficult because we're not on that path. And so then we have to make a decision about, do I sacrifice my spiritual path and my spiritual journey? Do I sacrifice the reason that I came here to be with this person who wants to they came here to just stay plugged into the matrix? Am I going to give up the very reason that I came here and I incarnated to, and basically to be with this person that I'll never be completely fulfilled with, because our values, our perception, our reality, the things that we value will just never be really aligned, and that's something I think that we all have to get honest about. And, you have free will. We all have a choice and decision to make in that. And it can be a difficult choice, especially if we're going to be honest with ourselves about what it is that we really want, and the sacrifice. What are we willing to sacrifice to be with somebody, and for what? Are you sacrificing it because the sex is great? Are you sacrificing it because you have such low self-esteem that you don't believe that you'll ever find anyone better than this one person? You have to get clear. You have to go deep within yourself, and it's very hard sometimes to get honest. It's brutally honest with ourselves about why we choose to stay in something that if we were embracing the truth, we probably know it's just not aligned with us, and that this person is probably never going to be aligned with us. And that's okay. It's just, they came here to have a certain experience as a human, and you came here to have a certain experience as a human. And those experiences are very different. Those two worlds are not going to merge. So, it's a difficult choice. For those of you that aren't walking away, at least you haven't decided yet that you're going to walk away from this person. I think it's going to be a struggle, if I'm being honest with you. And there's no judgment for me. I'm just the messenger. So what else do we need to know about this? Okay, so if you're in separation from this person, they're missing you. Now, either you or this person, or maybe both of you, feel rejected, depending on what happened in the past. I actually feel this is both energies. If I'm going to be intuitively honest with you, I feel it's both you and your person both feel kind of rejected. And I feel that both, there's some self-worth and insecurity stuff probably on both sides. And again, no judgment for me. I'm just, I just have to be honest about the reading. What else? So for, I'll show you guys the cards here in just a second. See if anything else wants to come out really quick. Yeah, so we have this trap card. Now, this can mean a lot of different things. Like, this could be like a victim mentality, like, the blame game, like the whole, like, this person, they were like, it's the metaphor of being a trap. Like, they trapped me, they did this, they did that. It's a blame. There's a blame energy attached to that card. Now this, on the other side of it, though, there's another energy attached to this as well, and it's attached to the contract. This person feels trapped, if you will, because of whatever this contract card is. And then we have side hustle. So this person's definitely, like, they're really stressed out right now. I think about their job, their money, their finances, and maybe that was something you were aware of when you were with this person. I don't know, but you know, they're definitely focused on their work and money to some degree, it seems. And if they're not hurting for money, then maybe they're just doing it just to distract themselves, because it's easy for them to get, you know, when they're distracted with their job, then they don't have to face their emotions, their feelings. They don't have to, you know, it's an escape, if you will. And then we have phony, trickster, illusions, and fairy tale. So yeah, I think all of these keywords apply. I think that, you know, we all fall prey to the fairy tale. We project the fantasy of the person that we think, or the person we wish that person was. We project that fantasy onto them, and we fall in love with the fantasy instead of seeing the person for who they really are. And that's why so many people end up in relationships where they're toxic, but for some reason it's so difficult to let it go. It's like the toxic person is the real person. It's like, this is the real person, not the fantasy. This person, the way that you're being treated is who they really are. And, you know, and I'm guilty of this. I've done it. So, you know, again, no judgment from me. But, you know, there's definitely an element of fantasy here. I think that you or your person, or maybe both of you, at one point in this relationship, you know, the illusion and the fantasy is what really kind of brought you guys together. And then as the illusion faded, and we're left with the real person, we're left with what's actually reality. That's when the conflict occurs. Now, we also have this phony and we have this trickster energy here. So for some of you, maybe they really were. Maybe there was some cheating. Maybe there was some betrayal. Maybe there was some other stuff involved. And if it wasn't with the person, maybe it was just they weren't completely honest about things going on in their life. Who knows? At the bottom of the deck, though, we do have my way, selfish, stubborn, arrogant, pride, and ego. So I'm going to let that speak for itself. I'm going to just let that speak for itself. I don't have to explain that. I don't have to explain that card or that energy at all. I guess I'll slide it up here. Okay. Let's throw some, so what does the collective need to know then? I'll just pull some tarot here. What does the collective need to know? What do they need to know about this person that's on their mind right now? Give me the future energy here. Because we got judgment coming out. So there's two energies attached to this. Two energies attached to this. The first energy is this person, if you're not in contact and you haven't spoken to this person, they're probably going to come back around, maybe. Okay, I have to say maybe, because, you know, I can't predict free will. Nobody can. So anybody that, you know, is telling you with absolute certainty, they're full of shit. But the energy that's on the table right now, I'm going to say 80% weather forecast, energy forecast is saying this person is, at the very least, they're thinking about wanting to come back around and potentially resurrect this with you, you know. So for, you know, half of you, maybe more than half, maybe like 70% of you, they're going to come back. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands. And so this is going to be an impulsive thing that they do. It's on the fly. They're not going to be sitting around thinking about, like, you know, like I'm like overthinking it. This is just going to be like, I don't know, just they get really bored and they go for it. Or maybe they're drinking, they get liquid courage and they just go for it. Who knows? Whatever it is, they're going to, for many of you, like 70% of you, they're going to do it. Now, for the other 30% of you, the second energy attached to this is that you guys need to process this, because judgment is about evaluating all that we've learned based on a certain major experience that we have, because it's a major arcana. And so the divine is asking you, it's kind of blowing this trumpet here with the judgment card here, this angel giving you a wake-up call, right? That's one of the energies that is attached to this card. And so when the divine blows the horn in your face to get your attention, to wake you up, it's essentially the wake-up call is to get you to think very, very hard, long and hard about and evaluate this. Like really give it some like proper judgment, in a sense. Like this is the judgment card. Like, are you seeing it clearly now? Because over here we have that illusions card. We had the fantasy, we had the fairy tale. But what about now? The divine is asking you, do you see this situation for what it is now? Or are you still in the fantasy? Because if you're still in the fantasy, then regardless of what happens with this person going forward, you're just going to attract another one of those types of people in the future. And you're going to have to go around that mountain all over again because you didn't learn the lesson with this person. And so, the divine is hoping that you've learned the lesson. But who knows? Because we all have free will. And maybe you have, maybe you haven't learned the lesson with this person. What has this person taught you? What is the spiritual lesson that you've needed to learn as a result of this situation? Because if you haven't learned it, then anything that we don't resolve in this season of our life will follow us into the next. That's just how it is. Now we have the King of Wands here, which just represents whoever that person is for you. The King of Wands, and then we have the Six of Wands. So again, this is all tied to the ego card here. It's like the King of Wands we could also in this case, not all the time, but in this case, the King of Wands is kind of like the king of bullshit. The king is superficial, right? Male or female doesn't matter. If you're a guy and you're dealing with a woman, then you could call it the queen of bullshit, the queen of superficial, right? But it's a me first energy, okay? But they're very attractive. They're very charming, very lustful. I mean, you can have a lot of great trauma bond sex with somebody like this, and it's mind-blowing. You can get addicted to somebody when the toxic trauma bond sex is so good. But at the end of the day, it's all about feeding the ego. Okay? It's all feedbacking off of this, the ego. That's what this is showing. But you still have feelings for this person, and they still have feelings for you regardless. Again, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you the energy with the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And then there's that Page of Pentacles, two energies attached to it. Have you learned? Feedbacking off the Judgment card, because it's the card of the Page of Pentacles is the card of the student, Snowden is a student. Have you learned with that Judgment energy? Have you learned your lesson or not? That's the first energy. The second energy is, again, somebody coming back in that you haven't heard from. They miss you. They're coming back in with an offer. And they're coming in maybe quicker than you think with the Knight of Swords. This is fast. Somebody who's laser focused and they're hauling ass. But you got to be careful of this. There's that Seven of Cups. There's the fantasy again. So this Seven of Cups is tied to this Fairy Tale Fantasy Illusions card at the bottom over here. That's on the table. So the question is, if they come back around, do you want to go for another another time around the mountain with this person? You've done it once. Do you want to do it again? Or have you learned, have you popped the fantasy bubble and are you seeing clearly, regardless of what this person says or does or how they show up, if they show up? And if they do, are you different? Are you a different person now? Are you in a different place? Can you look at this objectively? Are you seeing them objectively? You know, and if you've learned your lesson and you've done the spiritual work, then you should be able to sense what's really going on with them. And you should be able to sense the intention and motive behind their whatever, their actions for coming towards you. And then you should also be able to sense if you're really, really honest with yourself and you've done the work, you should be able to sense how you feel when this person shows back up. And you'll know like, okay, they've changed. There's something different here. Or if you're connected to the divine inside of you, if you feel that pushback energy or that gross energy or that resistance or contractive energy, like something inside of you, the red flag energy, then it's saying we're not aligned. But again, only those of you who've done the work and you've grown spiritually since being apart from this person, only those of you who've done the work will probably be able to sense that. And then, of course, again, you'll have a decision to make based on what you pick up intuitively when this person comes back. Because, and I'm not saying that there isn't a small percent of a percentage of a chance that maybe this person who was once a certain way, that they can't change. Because I'm actually, as a coach, a life coach, I mean, you can't be a coach and have the belief that people can't change. That's contradictory. Like the whole reason that I chose coaching is because I believe that anyone can change. I don't care how messed up they are. Everybody can change, but it's a choice. So in this case, are you aware of this person's change? Because you can't just believe what someone says. And even and on the front end of something, when somebody comes to you, they can fake it. Even the thing that they do can't necessarily, you can't take that for face value either. But your intuition won't lie to you. And the more connected you are to the divine, and the more you trust the divine inside of you, your intuition, and you really, really are tapped in and tuned in and you trust that, it'll tell you. It's like, hey, this person hasn't changed. They're saying they've changed. They're acting like they've changed, but they haven't really changed. Or maybe they have. Maybe you'll sense something. It's like, I sense something is different. Their energy is different than I remember it. And, so maybe I will cautiously and skeptically, I'll investigate a little bit. I was like, all right, well, you got my attention. You're here. So, what do you got to say for yourself? What do you got to show for yourself? It's not fantasy fairy tale. Let's just jump in and, oh my God, it's The Notebook. And oh my God, we're just going to run into each other's arms. And it's blah, 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 Disney fairy tale movie. And if you do that, then I hate to tell you, then, you get what you deserve. And that's not me just being an asshole. It's just me being true. If you goo goo gaga Disney World all over this person and you fall right back into the same type of fantasy that you fell into the first time, then you can't be upset when you get the same kind of outcome. Because the divine is literally like here we are. Like we're literally telling you to your face. Like, especially now, you don't have an excuse because you were told that this is exactly what was going to happen. The blind spot was pointed out to you. Like, there has to be accountability on your part now. You can't pretend that you didn't know. And I say this compassionately because I've been one of these people in my life. I've made these mistakes. I've had to go around the mountain a few times, and I did it the hard way because I was not connected to the divine the way that I thought that I was. And I learned the hard way. And so I don't want you all out there to have to learn the hard way. It's not necessary. And that's the beauty of being able to do a reading like this. so you can see what's real and not what's fantasy. Okay, so you're gonna have a decision. Those of you that have watched this video, you're gonna have a decision to make. I think that somebody that you were connected to, the person on your mind, you're probably gonna, again, I'm going to say between 50 and 70% of you, if you're not in contact with this person, you're probably going to hear from them at some point in the future. And if for those of you that are maybe with this person and you're living under the same roof, then they may just start to behave differently than they were. Instead of being disconnected, maybe, they start to act more interested in you again or something. I don't know. But the main takeaway, the big picture here, is not about your person. It's about what have you learned. Okay? That is the takeaway from this reading. Make no mistake about it. It's not about the person on your mind. It's about what have you learned as a result with being with this person. What have you taught, or what have you learned? Or, what have you taken away from this experience with this person, spiritually speaking? Right? That's really what the divine, with this judgment card here, this is really the center of the reading, in my opinion, this judgment card. What have you learned? And if you apply that, then after judgment in tarot is the last major arcana, which is the world card, which is completion. It's integration. It's like, hey, you did it. You passed the test. You completed the mission. You completed the level. You passed the test. So this is you're using kind of video game terms. You're at the last level. This is the last level of the video game. And you're facing the final boss of the video game. That's where you're at. It's like, and if you can beat the boss, then you beat the game. You complete it, right? So to speak. So hopefully you guys have learned what you've needed to learn as a result of being in this situation. And when this person comes around, you won't fail the test. Because if you've truly passed the test, then it's passed now. It's completed now, before the person ever comes back. Who you are now is not going to be different or changed based on when that person shows back up. It won't have any effect on you, because it's like, no, this is who I am. Come hell or high water, I don't care who comes up, who shows up. Who I am is who the F I am, period. Right? Like, that's how resolute, that's how sure, that's how certain you would be in that energy if you've passed the test. Right? There's a confidence that comes with it. So that's the reading. And I hope that hopefully this will help and benefit somebody out there. Like I said, this is the first time I've done a reading like this. What else? I keep feeling like there's something else I need to say here. Don't forget about the Conscious Collective group. Just going to mention that one last time here at the end. Show up the slide really quick here. So for those of you that are interested, and again, you're not sure about the group, you want to learn more about it, click the video in my playlist. It's called the Conscious Collective Presentation. Everything you know about it is there. And if you have any questions, you can just email me. My contact information is in the description. I will answer those questions for you as well personally. But yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. And I appreciate you guys. Love and light. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.